Loudoun and Fauquier counties are home to Virginia's largest network of rural roads. Carved out of Virginia's hilly terrain by Native Americans and early Europeans who helped shape our nation and build our prosperous agricultural communities, we believe these roads and the stories they carry are worth preserving. The roads tell the stories of the migration of Native Americans, of European pioneers seeking a new life, of terrible wars fought along these roads, of slavery and the struggle for freedom, of the coming of the automobile and the modern era of commuters living side by side with farmers. They are truly America's routes. These old roads provide a unique and beautiful experience to the area's rural residents and to the thousands of visitors who come here to enjoy our spectacular and authentic rural landscape. But as development moves west, more and more of these roads are being paved over. Many of these rural roads follow sunken lanes, evidence of the workmanship of laborers repeatedly digging out the surface over centuries. Others follow remarkably straight lines, ignoring change in grade and water obstacles, always taking the shortest route and establishing a sense of order in what was then a chaotic wilderness. Rural roads were constructed at the behest of citizens who would petition the court to request construction, repair, or redirection of a road, complete with a description of its precise route and the signatures of residents making the request, known as road cases. In 1854, Yardley Taylor drew the first detailed map of Loudoun County. A resident of the town of Lincoln, his map identified all of the county's roads, many of which are still unpaved. Our area's rural roads are an important recreational resource for residents and visitors alike. Two of the most avid groups of users are equestrians and bicyclists. Carriage driving as an equestrian sport is now a fast-growing discipline. One Hillsborough resident observed, "As I drive, I think of how many generations have used our roads the way I do." Loudoun's unique web of unpaved roads attracts gravel cycling enthusiasts from all over the country and the world. The ability to ride loops of up to 100 miles, with the majority of those miles being on gravel, is a big draw for participants in this burgeoning sport. The dry-stack stone walls lining many of Loudoun's rural roads quietly endow the countryside with a sense of place and identity, offering up an extraordinary wealth of historical and cultural data. Their construction involved a craft, handed down from master to apprentice, as they were assembled with no other tools than the mason's hammer, ingenuity, and a skillful selection of interlocking stones. Well into the 20th century, the majority of Virginia's roads were surfaced primarily with native soil, and perhaps a small amount of broken stone or gravel spread on the roadbed. A pioneering Scottish engineer in the 1800s, John Loudon McAdam, single-handedly changed the way roads were built around the world. Macadamizing, as the process became known, involved placing tightly packed layers of broken stone of very specific sizes onto a well-prepared roadbed, then rolling them and tamping them into a uniform thickness. The top layer would consist of finely crushed stone to bind the surface, and also included shaping the road with a crown in the middle that would direct water off to the sides. These elements of constructing a properly functioning unpaved road remain much the same today. It was not until the beginning of the 20th century that tar was added into the mix, becoming tarmac, a material similar to today's asphalt. The need for these gravel roads to function as part of a transportation network in the 21st century has highlighted the quandary of how to preserve them as authentic historic assets while providing a driving surface to accommodate the needs of modern travel. Of the 700 miles of public roads in the western part of the county, more than a third are unpaved. By revealing the road network's historic value and beauty, our ultimate goal is to preserve them.